This is Sena Kilic. I'm one of the cardiology fellows at Brown University. I'm here at ACC 18 with Dr. Zoghbi, who, for those of you that don't know, is the current chair of cardiology at Houston Methodist, past president of ASC and ACC. Welcome. Thanks for speaking with us.
Great to have me.
You have quite an interesting past and have come a very long way from your upbringing in Lebanon through a series of pretty trying circumstances. We just wanted to know what was it like to come from Lebanon to the United States and come to where you are today?
Well, it's a long journey, but I'll tell you that that was never on my radar screen that I would have ended in the United States and where I am now and all my professional life. It tells you something that not everything is planned, and most importantly, an advice that I have through my experience is to be as flexible and as adaptable, and I think this is part of the strength of international medical graduates. You know, I came from Lebanon because of the war. I was back in '77. It was a foreign environment to me. To tell you the truth, I was French educated, so my two languages were Arabic and French. English was a third language that I had to adapt to the American accent in addition to everything else. But on the positive end, I think, you go through those, and the first year or two are usually more difficult, and gradually you make your circle of friends, and you integrate gradually more and more, and you're adaptable to all the situations, and you get into an academic situation, and this is where gradually it's not only mine, but it's your personality that will shine as to what's important for you as a person, be it academically or otherwise, and how do you put all that together. I just want to remind also the IMGs that you're not alone. As you know, the workforce in the U.S. is about almost 25 to 30% IMGs from the workforce of all physicians. Cardiologists are the same. Interventional cardiologists maybe even a little more. So you're talking about between 30 and 40% of the workforce. So you're not alone. And I think this is a workforce to reckon with, because you have among the best and brightest individuals who are coming to the United States who've been filtered through so many things. So number one, you have to pat yourself on the back that you're here and compete on so many levels with among your colleagues to succeed in whatever it is that you look forward for you yourself to be with you, your colleagues, as well as your family.
That's fantastic. I think that a lot of IMGs will really connect with what you've had to say.
It's very important. I think it's very important to discuss, and I've written about my experience also in various, in JAC as well as in JAMA Cardiology, and I think we have to be proud of that. I think in addition, our American-born colleagues are also proud of us, and we're proud of them, and basically we're a community. And the most amazing thing is also me being a foreign-born tells you that the opportunities in the United States are amazing. I don't think you're going to have any opportunity like this in the world where there's practically really no discrimination as to what your opportunities can be. It's up to you and your capabilities and your endeavor and your basically thrust upon yourself of what you want to do. And many other countries, even that you could be born in that country, you may not have those capacities because it's pyramidal shape.
That's fantastic. You've certainly achieved a great deal in your career. There are a lot of people here at ACC today, medical students, residents, and fellows that have just started the entire journey, who arrive at these huge national meetings and see so many people and just don't know where to get started with networking and talking to people. Would you be able to give us some tips as to how to effectively network in a big conference like this?
I think, the big conference is important, but to me, networking starts at home. at home in your environment, in your academic environment, in your work environment, and in your training environment. I think it's very important for you to be gradually on a bigger and bigger circle of network. You have to be altruistic in a way. Not to say that all the background knowledge of cardiology, of medicine, at whatever level you are, it is still very important. But at some point in time, you have to get out of your shell a bit and serve the larger good in a way. And this is how you're going to get recognized, because if you serve, in addition to serving with your knowledge and your input, this is for the common good. This is common good of the society, and all these societies, I'm talking about the professional society as well as the society, the community at large. I really think these are important, because the more of it you do, I think you're a better individual, you're a better physician, because you recognize other needs beyond yourself. And I think, people, there is a saying that if you want to have something accomplished, you give it to the busiest person, because you learn multitasking at the same time of how to become efficient. And nowadays, this, your generation, your new generation, the future leaders have tools that we never had growing up. So yes, it could be burdensome to have all these electronics and so many other things, but you know that social media will connect you. It is very interesting. Yesterday, I'll share that with you, that, I tweet. I was recognized to be the first ACC president to tweet back in April 2012. But if you look at it, I knew there was, from Dr. Martha Gulati, there was a call for the tweeters of cardiology, and I shared that with you. I didn't see too many of my generation, but I loved it because I connected with all of you. So you have a medium to connect, as long as it doesn't absorb you and it doesn't hinder from your other activities, because I can see diversity of it, either not involved or too involved that it distracts you from other things. So look for balance, connect with people. Obviously, you need to be strong at whatever you do, whatever specialty you're going to get into. You need to be knowledgeable, and this is like a non-negotiable basic that you're going to need. And the question is, what else do you add to your portfolio from that? Research is always great. It connects you with a certain population of science and everything else. But irrespective, if you go and practice and if you go in an academic career, you really need to get involved. And people say, I'm just too busy. People in practice. I always say that, in 365 days that you have, at least take 3 days for your professional development, and more for advocacy, for you, for your profession, and your patients.
That's fantastic. Just one final question. We have a lot of medical students that'll be listening to this podcast, and medical residents who are really at the beginning of their careers. And they're looking at this daunting task of becoming a cardiologist. And one of my favorite questions to ask people are, what are your pearls of wisdom for people who are just getting started?
I'm jealous. I would be very jealous, and let me say why. Because this is an amazing field. And I'm just wondering what the field would look like 20 to 30 to 40 years down the line. And we can touch that a little bit, but it is an amazing, exciting field for people who are starting their medical career. Because it depends what you like in medicine, but cardiovascular disease is still number one killer, and we need to do something about that. That's number one. Number two, you have amazing technology, from imaging to interventions, that you could do something about, in addition to prevention. So all of that is really very important, from a social call to community call to prevention call and non-communicable diseases, that you could do a major impact on it. And last but not least, depending what your background is like, we are involved at Houston Methodist with a newer way of training medical doctors down the line. It's called NMed, which is engineering in medicine. So it would be a new specialty in medicine, taking engineers' background, physicists' backgrounds, to try to inculcate them in the medical field so that we have a newer innovation into medicine. So just imagine the marriage of an engineering background and medical background of where it could take us.
That's fantastic.
So I think the future is amazingly bright. And for those of you who are interested in medicine, I know I'm biased, but I love cardiovascular specialty, and I think you're going to love it too.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your passion for this with us.
Pleasure being with you, and best of luck.
Thank you. So for more of these interviews, please come to youtube.com/FITsontheGO.